Bernie Sanders weighed in on the issue of the Electoral College in the wake of Trump winning. He told USA Today, quote, "We may want to take a look at the whole Electoral College, which is seating a man for president who didn't get the most votes. This is something we need a serious discussion on. This campaign revolved around 15 states of the country, right? Battleground states. My state of Vermont is a strong Democratic state. No one paid attention. Wyoming is a Republican state. Nobody paid attention to Wyoming. Is that a good way?" So as I'm doing the show right now, Hillary Clinton is up over 750,000 votes in the popular vote. When all said and done, she may win by up to 2 million because there are a lot of votes that are still left to be counted, and they're overwhelmingly in massive Democratic states. So since that's the case, you're going to have a bigger Hillary lead growing, but it's not going to affect the outcome because Donald Trump won the Electoral College in a near landslide. Now, I learned something on election night, or I had never sat down and thought about it, even though I have a fucking degree in political science. I never knew that there could be this much of a disparity between what the Electoral College is and what the popular vote is. So I don't remember what the Electoral College numbers were for Bush versus Gore, but Gore won the popular vote. Bush won the Electoral College, but it was close. It was like, I don't know, 270 something or maybe 280 something for Bush v. Gore, where Bush won, but Gore won the popular vote by, I think it was about 400,000 popular votes, or votes, I guess you could say. So it was close in the Electoral College, but Bush won and Gore won the popular vote. That I knew was possible. I didn't know it was possible that, like is going to happen this election, when all is said and done, they're still counting Michigan, I have no clue why, but Trump is going to get over 300 Electoral College votes, and he's going to lose the popular vote by maybe up to 2 million. Okay, no, that's crazy. That's nuts. At what point would any reasonable person say, okay, you know what, a little too undemocratic? I mean, honestly, what does it have to be, 5 million votes? What if Hillary Clinton won by 5 million votes, but Donald Trump won in a near landslide in the Electoral College? Wouldn't we all go, wait, what? I mean, that's really off. What if she won by 10 million votes? What if she won by 15 million votes and Donald Trump won the Electoral College and he won it in a landslide? Again, he won in a near landslide, but Hillary's going to have maybe up to 2 million votes more. Everybody knows I hate both these candidates. So I'm not trying to have this conversation in the context of, oh, look at the candidate that lost, and oh, woe is me. No, fuck that. Put candidates aside. What if it was reversed too? Like, for example, let's say we lived in a world where it was Donald Trump who won the popular vote by up to 2 million votes, but Hillary Clinton won the Electoral College in a near landslide. Wouldn't the right be like, what? This is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. That makes no sense. Well, I think they would say that, and I think they'd be right to say that, and I think Bernie Sanders is right to say this now, and I think people on the left, even if they're doing it for partisan hacky reasons in this sense, we're like, I want my candidate to win. But there's still a principled argument there that makes sense. I mean, since 2000, we've had, I think Ben Mankiewicz tweeted this the other day, 40% of the elections, 2 of 5 elections, have gone against the will of the people. How this is a system that's fucking just broken and old and it doesn't make sense anymore. Now, guys, I get it, because whenever you say this, people just bring up like what the original point of the Electoral College was. Yeah, I get it. Like, I'm not an idiot. I get it. I understand the whole point behind it in the first place. I understand that they say, well, you know, we've got to try to give equal representation to the people in Middle America, because those states, if you don't have a system that's like the Electoral College, those states don't get as much love and they don't get as much attention paid to them and they get ignored and yada yada. No, I know the arguments, but I don't think they're convincing. In other words, I think it's a much more convincing argument. Hey, maybe one person, one vote. Hey, maybe the democratic will of the people should prevail. Hey, maybe the reason why Wyoming shouldn't have as many senators as, say, California is because Wyoming has about -8 people in it and California has roughly half the population of the fucking planet. You know, maybe, just maybe, since there's millions upon millions upon millions of people in California and 18 people in Wyoming or Montana, maybe they shouldn't both get 2 senators. Maybe the whole Senate is a little bit outdated and maybe we should have a system which is just the House of Representatives. Now, I know, because there's now some liberals will pipe in and say, well, look, that may be a massive downside when it's just a Republican-controlled Senate. Okay, and so my point is, even if it leads to some more negative consequences, in that right now you get even more right-wing legislation, because the Senate, at least the Democrats have a fighting chance temporarily because they can filibuster. But, the House, in the House, what are you going to do? The Republicans dominate the House right now, so maybe they get even worse legislation passed. But that's not the point. The point is the principle of the thing. The point is we have an undemocratic system, and I can't think of a convincing argument why I'd be okay with that. And I also would like it if my vote counted. I live in New York. I lived in New York my whole life. My vote just never counts. It's a guarantee that my vote, my state, I should say, is going to go to the Democratic candidate. I think it's a silly system. I really do. And I think all the people who, think the other argument overrides it are dead wrong, because at the end of the day, you're the one making the undemocratic point. At the end of the day, you have to understand your argument is, regardless of what the train of rationalizations behind it, your argument is, yes, what the majority of the voters want should be overruled sometimes. I don't think I agree with that. It's a different context when it comes to having a constitution. So, for example, if your constitution lays out rights for people and then the majority want to vote to take away the rights, well, that's an instance where, yeah, I'm in favor of the Constitution over the tyranny of the majority. But that's a separate conversation, because then you're talking about a totally different issue when it comes to governing the country. What I'm talking about is picking a leader. When it comes to picking a leader, should it be, hey, just override the will of the people? No, I don't agree with that. So I think Bernie Sanders is right here. I think we need to have a conversation about the popular vote. And I think that, if people are going to be upset about losing it, well, just be clear about the position you're taking. You're arguing for an undemocratic system.